All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 4 of Sports Kita's Unscripted with Chris Featherstone. Y'all ready to rock again? Another live Q&A. So week 1, we had Vince Russo. Week 2, we had Muhammad Hassan. Week 3, we had Shane Helms. Week 4, supposed to be Doc Gallows. He got with me like less than 2 hours ago and said, hey, there was some unforeseen circumstances that we have to postpone. So he was promoting it. We were promoting it. But I got a suitable replacement for you. And this person's a personal friend of mine. And I am super happy to have an ongoing relationship with this wonderful, wonderful person. He is a former WWE Tag Team Champion. He looks so good to me. I don't know about you, but he looks so good to me. Ladies and gentlemen, my man Rico Constantino. How are you tonight, sir?
Hey, Chris, great to see you. You're looking great too. See, I even brought my gang back. Me, look at my guys are here. I got my fish, got my Oscars, got my African cichlids over. Everyone wanted to be on the show tonight.
Nice.
They asked me.
You got an audience, man.
You do. This is my piece here. And they don't so how have you been?
I've been fantastic, man. It's been a really good year of and one of the best physical shapes of my life. I am about to be a doctor in a few weeks, and yeah,
congratulations.
Man, thank you, man. Life is good, man. How are you? I know you still looking good, man. And
I'm still healthy. God's blessing me. I'm working as security right now. I'm back into the workforce.
Nice.
I have my law enforcement license. I'm working for state agencies like I security, the DMVs,
nice.
Mental health, welfare, unemployment, parole and probation, any state facility that needs a security presence. I'm there. Also, I've talked to the state, and it looks like 2 departments want to rehire me back as a police officer.
Nice.
So I'm looking at the Attorney General's office as an investigator or forensics. Nice. So, and
I'm about to be a forensic I'm about to be a doctor in forensic psychology. So,
then I'll be the one protecting you from those
indeed.
people. So, I'm very happy with that. Unfortunately, Corona has kind of put a stop to things, and it's kind of caught I'm not going to call it a second wave. It's kind of caught a resurgence here in Nevada, Las Vegas area, and I personally thought they opened things up a little too quickly, but I'm hoping people bear down and start taking this seriously.
Yeah.
And no more deaths and no more needless infections. You got I guess you got people in the house.
Yes, yes, indeed. People are ready to rock already, man. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm all yours, Chris.
Awesome, man. Cool. All right, so let's start off with Prete. Hi, Rico. I used to be a big fan of Charlie Haas when I was younger. I remember you tag team with Charlie Haas pretty well. Why do you think Charlie wasn't a bigger single star in WWE?
Well, this is my own personal opinion. Charlie came up in the wrestling world with his brother Russ, God rest his soul, and that's what he learned. And you saw Russ on his arms all the time. Missed his brother tremendously. I was so thankful that we tagged as well as we did. I was apprehensive at first because I didn't want him to think that I would be taking the place of his brother or anything like that. But Charlie was an excellent master technician at the tag team game. Just like Billy Gunn was, so he knew tags, but as technically sound wrestler, his background, I don't think Vince gave him enough credit to go singles. I think that's all he saw him with tunnel vision, like Kentucky Derby horses, and just saw him as a tag and left him at that. And, for those of you who don't know, you're at Vince's will when you're part of the company. You really don't have a say so when you're somebody like myself who was a mid-card guy. And I've told you this before, Chris. It wasn't me who thought up those 2 characters. That was Vince's idea. And you know my background. And that is a complete 180 of who Rico Constantino
Yeah,
really
the,
is.
the American Gladiator, Rico Constantino.
See, yeah, here I am with makeup and pink tights. My tights were red and gladiators, not pink.
Yeah,
But but that's why
but you did it well though. You did it very well.
hey, that's the actor in me.
Yes,
You got to do what you got to do,
Yes,
and entertain.
Mhm.
And I think we did good. So
Agreed.
that's what I think about Charlie.
Yep.
Not that he couldn't have been. I just don't think Vince gave him the break.
Mm-hmm. But Sal says, "Hi Rico, who's your favorite superstar on the current WWE roster?"
Wow, you're asking me how to tell you how a clock works. Everybody has their own personality on screen and off screen.
Mhm.
I got along really with everybody except a couple, and one of them was Bubba Dudley. But even Bob Holly and I got along. People find it hard to get along with Bob Holly, but Bob Holly's just Bob Holly. It's just like Stone Cold.
Mhm.
Stone Cold is Stone Cold, just with the volume turned up to 10.
I've met Bob once, and he was nice to me. So
yeah,
that's what
Bob Holly's Bob Holly, just turned up to 10.
Yeah.
He works a little stiff,
Yeah,
but he expects you to be stiff back.
Yeah.
Never complains, and he doesn't want to hear you complain. He's an old school wrestler. So Rey Mysterio, my gosh, I've wrestled with everybody. I was a mid-card guy, so I had to either put them over or entertain, so I the current roster, Roman Reigns. I just saw the boys when they were here. I like Roman because of my connection with Rosie and Jamal and stuff like that. He was growing up.
Did you ever have any on that note? Did you ever have any type of dialogue with Roman while you were friends with his brother?
No, he didn't come around. I mean,
Okay.
I was with Kishi, and then Rosie and Jamal came around. So that's a huge family.
It is.
I could have been met everybody, and I probably still wouldn't have met everybody. That's a huge wrestling family.
Because Joe's about 33 now or so. Because so during your time, he would have been a teenager, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, because I know him and Rosie were big. He's 35 now. So
wow,
back in 2002, he would have been 17, 2003, 18.
Yeah, I don't know if he traveled then. Like I said, like I said, I was tag team champion first with Rikishi, and then Charlie. So,
yep. Let's go to Rohits. Hi Rico. In 2004, after moving to SmackDown, you managed to get fan support behind you when you paired with Charlie Haas. Did you feel more could have been done with it? Did you expect to get the reactions you did, or did it all happen organically?
Well, I was Billy and Chuck, then the wedding, then I was a 3-minute warning, and then Jamal got suspended, fired, so 3-minute warning had to go away. Rosie became superhero in training with Hurricane, and they asked me to be the exotic Adrian Street character, plagiarize that. Was doing that, but came out as a heel on Raw. Then I wasn't getting the reaction Vince liked. At first I was, because I remember I came out in all the dark colors. Everything was dark, makeup dark. The stuff I did was meant to embarrass the face. Jackie would interfere and stuff like that. But the stuff I started riding them like the horsey and spanking them in the butt, pinching them. And all of a sudden that started getting a crowd reaction positively. And they weren't cheering the heel. They started cheering me. So Kane came out when I had Jackie and Stacy Keibler in my corner. Boom, bam, boom. There went that character. And then went over to SmackDown, did one Velocity. My debut on SmackDown was I wrestled Charlie Haas. I gave him a kiss. He couldn't get back in the ring, right? He was throwing up, couldn't get back in the ring. And the next week we went to Canada, and Pat Patterson came up to me and he goes, you and Charlie ought to be tag champions. And I said, well, Pat, Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty are champs. I'm a face. Scotty's a face. Rikishi's a face. Charlie's a heel. How are we going to do that? He says, don't worry about it. All of it. And we weren't we weren't scheduled to wrestle the champions, or that was my first match. Pat comes back and says, "Okay, you guys are going to get the titles." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you're going to be Charlie's mystery partner." Huh? Because they worked it in the angle that Charlie was, when he was with Shelton Benjamin, well, he was up in line for the tag titles.
Mhm.
Well, he was going to have a mystery partner that night. He didn't know who.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, Charlie's mystery partner is, and all of a sudden, my theme song happens. You look, and he's like, "Oh no, he kissed me." So that match went, and we became champions. So my second match, after really turning face, I was with Charlie. So to answer the question, no, I didn't expect it. How the fans got behind me is because I kept reinventing the character.
Mhm.
I didn't do the same thing. I went home and thought about stuff, and then I had to include Charlie, which made it like a triangle. So Jackie liked me, I liked Charlie, Charlie liked Jackie.
Mhm.
And you know how phobic he was during
Yeah.
the matches. So I would do stuff to Charlie to get him angry to
Mhm.
wrestle in the matches, but then
Mhm.
Jackie would dote over me.
Mhm.
So it was a work in progress constantly. So the fans understood it. I
Mhm.
mean, because Charlie played that part so well, you
Mhm.
know, and did I expect to get the reactions? No, I didn't expect anything. I just went out there and did what I did, and the fans accepted it. And so I guess I could say it all happened organically, as Rohit
Mhm.
Rohit says.
Yeah.
So that's the whole story behind that.
Nice. Let's see. Do you think Arnava says, do you think tag team wrestling is neglected in WWE?
I think there's a lot neglected in WWE, especially right now.
Mhm.
I can't watch the product.
Mhm.
I can't watch it at all, especially now. It's not like a boxing match or an MMA fight or a football game or basketball game. They don't need. It's good to have fans in the stand, but they compete. They don't need fans in the stands. You could have football go with
Mhm.
nobody in the stands, and
Mhm.
they're still going to go for the long bomb. The players are going to play their hearts out because
Mhm.
they're doing what they do best. Unfortunately, wrestling needs the fan interaction. And
Yes.
the thing I cannot take is when a guy comes out and he gets on the turnbuckle and lifts a belt. To who? Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Please.
that's true.
Okay, no theme song. Rey Mysterio is going to wrestle. You both come out with the ref and go to work.
Yeah.
Do what you're going to do. Quit acting like there's people there and you're pulling people from the performance center.
Mhm.
That's double sad to me. So
Yeah.
right now, wrestling's at a standstill, and it's going to be at a standstill until somebody figures something out. And you can't put people 6 feet apart and put masks on them and expect them to enjoy the event.
Yeah.
They're not going to keep distance. Wrestling is wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm hoping that WWE kind of does a slow launch with the reduced capacity, because I was at the gym today and they were talking about how Indy 500 is going to be at quarter capacity. They're still going to have a quarter capacity in August, so hopefully we can get a little bit of more of that. Like if there's a 18,000 seat capacity, only sell about 5,000 or so tickets. Like do some really big social distancing.
Yeah.
I know that they don't like having empty seats, you know what I mean? Like showing empty seats. But I mean, you're just going to have to tough it out. I mean, as far as this is concerned, I'd rather see 3,000 people in an 18,000 seat arena than seeing 10, 15 people from the performance center hitting on plexiglass, wearing masks, you know what I mean?
And knowing when to boo and
Yeah.
knowing when to cheer.
Right.
No, I'd rather see the 3,000 and 18,000 seat arena. But how are you going to get them in? There's got to be.
There's got to be some
know.
precautions. Maybe
Yeah.
I would say take temperatures of everybody. Still have some distancing.
Yeah.
I mean, just like how it is at Walmart. There's thousands of people in Walmart at a particular time, but they have precautions. I think this a slow launch would be good. I mean, of course, continue to see the numbers, continue to see the trends and things like that. All that is very important. But I think the more space you have, the more you have ability to distance. Right now, you're in the performance center, and it's a smaller space, so you really don't have the ability to distance. So,
I think we need to understand this thing first,
certainly,
before we start doing, because they say it's airborne.
Yeah.
And I will not go to the gym to this day because everybody exhaling. I can't work out in a mask, let alone people sitting on stuff, but they're on the treadmill. To me, well, I'm older than you, so and I was sick for 3 years, so I'm taking a Roman Reigns approach. Since my doctor already told me if I was sick like I was then, and I'd already be gone.
Wow. Yeah, working out in a mask is bad. It's terrible. I work out 5 days a week in a gym, and we keep social distancing. They close different equipment machines, so there's equipment machines that are just shut down to practice distancing, and you have to wear a mask as you're walking around. And it's just, I work out, and I'm puffing inside my own face, and it's just.
And what does the body need after, when you do your sets? Why do you take in oxygen?
Yeah.
But you're treating yourself like somebody who's hyperventilating.
Yes.
You're basically putting a paper bag on your face and rebreathing your carbon dioxide.
Right.
So it is triple tough.
Yeah,
so hats off to you for doing it. But like I said, I'm a little older and been through a little bit. So I'm going to take that extra step and I'm going to wait a little bit. And like I said, I want people to work together on this, understand it, and understand this is not a joke, and take your own, protect your own bubble. I'm not saying go protect somebody else or put yourself, just protect your own little bubble, your own little space. And if everybody does their little part, we're going to understand it. We're humans. We're smart.
Yes.
We're going to understand this.
I agree. I agree. That's good stuff, man. Angelito said, we miss your brother.
And out of everything of wrestling, I don't miss the flights. I don't miss the airports. I don't miss the arenas. I missed some of the boys, but I do miss the fans.
Yeah.
I do miss after the shows, interacting with the fans, going to a restaurant and having a fan. Oh, I don't want to bother you for dinner. Sit down. I don't like to eat alone. I miss doing stuff like that.
Nice.
And working with charities, doing, Vince was a real big thing on read. Reading. I go to the, we were in a city, and I'd read to the second and third graders a story, and me, I'm Mr. Animated.
Yeah.
So, gosh forbid you give me a Cinderella story. I don't know. I could play Cinderella, but I didn't. I played Prince Charming, but I would be animated. So I miss that type of stuff. That's what I really miss.
Yeah. I might have asked you this before. Any interesting memories from the wrestler's court?
Yeah, I was never part of it. Thank God.
Yeah.
When I was there, Taker was a judge, and I never got called into wrestler's court. But that, to the boys, that's a serious thing. You get called into wrestler's court, that's just like you did something that needs to be handled quickly, swiftly, and justly.
Yeah.
So I don't. Like I said, I was never called into wrestler's court, so I have no memories.
Yeah. What did you think of the right to censor angle? Carlos is asking.
Stevie at his best.
Yeah, it was an interesting twist that it worked though.
It did.
It worked. Yeah. Charlie's asking, what's your fondest memory in WWE?
My whole 7 years.
Nice.
Just to be a 38-and-a-half-year-old guy signing a WWE contract and debuting on TV at 40 years old.
Wow.
The Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombard, comes up to me and goes, "You're debuting at 40? I retired at 40.
Yeah, a lot of people that retire. I mean, they kind of start landing the plane in their 40s. But you started your career.
I hit the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. You went up.
Yeah, and I still don't know for sure. I've been told both ways about DDP and I. Was I the oldest to ever start? I heard he started at 36. I started at 38. So I don't know when he started. I should have asked him. I saw him at AEW show here. I went and saw Jericho and Kenny Omega wrestle when they wrestled here. And I forgot to ask him. We just got talking about yoga, and he asked me, how I was feeling. And I told him, what you did for Jake and Scott was fantastic. I love the doc. I just kept praising him. And I said, boy, more people like you, we wouldn't have such sad stories, and probably wouldn't have lost so many people.
Yeah. Jeffrey's asking, who will like Shaniqua back in WWE one day? I guess who will be like? I guess Shaniqua.
Who will like Shaniqua? Who's Shaniqua?
The manager of the Basham Brothers. I guess. I
think that's Linda Miles.
Yeah, Linda Miles. Yeah.
I only met her twice, and about the history of Jackie and her and that horrible Raw match.
Yeah.
When I went to meet Adrian, when I came back after meeting Adrian, they were going to hand me Melina from ECW. I said, no, I need Jackie Gata. And she was headed already down to OVW. They were going to phase her out. I said, you want this character to work? I need Jackie Gata. Well, she'll never wrestle. I said, I'm not asking her to wrestle. I want her to hand me my lipstick, dote over me, distract the ref. I'm a heel. She's got to do things.
Yeah.
And they said, okay. So they gave me Jackie. Like I said, we were opposite two brands. So Shaniqua was on the opposite brand. So I didn't get to meet her a lot.
Reggie's asking, based on what you said about Haas, what does Vince McMahon look for in a top star? That's a good question.
Calls it an it. Calls it the it. You got to have it. To tell you the truth, he didn't understand Cena's character at all. Was going to cut him.
Really? Yeah, I think I heard.
He didn't understand. He says, "I don't get it. I don't get it," and he let him run with it for a little bit, and look what happened.
Yeah,
face of the company for a while.
When do you think was the turning point of Vince's perception towards Cena? Because I've heard that he was about to let go. Cena's talked about that in documentaries and stuff, that he was about to let him go.
Just like me.
The turning point was.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Cena and I were Southern Tag Team Champions at OVW. We worked together well. I came up second. Brock came up first after WrestleMania 18. And then I didn't really have much contact with Cena. Like I said, he was on a different brand. And then when we ended up on the same brand, we wrestled once. And it was a pretty good match. And it was in North Carolina because he was wearing Carolina colors. White and blue. Powder blue. And, it was my job to put him over. And we did. And I don't know. I really don't know what the turning point was. I wasn't close with Vince at all. Vince and I didn't have the talks. Vince didn't help me. There was no meeting with the writers. Like I said, I was given those two characters to fail, and I didn't fail. So any storylines I came in with, I had a couple of storylines. They were all trashed and never came to fruition.
Was there a pitch you gave to Vince that he denied?
I tried. Well, when I was Rico the Stylist, I had the sideburns. I mean, look now, all salt, no pepper. So,
hey, I like it. I like it though, man.
Yeah, but my hair. I mean, this is my natural color. All gray hair, no gray hair. All right. I earned this, so that's why I don't color it.
Yes,
I earned it.
Yeah, it's good.
So, with the Guerreros, Chavo Guerrero and his uncle or whatever. When I was with Charlie, I tried to get rid of the sideburns. Where Chavo and the other Guerrero, Hector Guerrero, was it?
Hector, yeah, Chavo, and then his dad, Chavo Classic, and then Hector.
Yeah, Chavo. Yeah. They jumped me in the locker room and they were shaving my sideburns off, and they heard Charlie coming and they ran, and then I was knocked out and one sideburn was gone. So we went in a tag match with them, and then I was going to get rid of them. They didn't do that one. One with Val Venus, him trying to recruit Jackie, to one of his stable from me. So that was going to be an angle. They listened to me on a couple things, like when Jackie and Trish had that bra and panty match in Salt Lake. They wanted me to come out in a bustier like Goldust did when he wrestled Roddy Piper. And I said, oh, so you're going to ruin the character? Huh? You want to kill the character right here? No, it's funny. That's not funny. That's stupid.
Mm.
You know, and then I thought of the tearing my pants off, and there I am in a pink tee back in Salt Lake City, Utah, on a live event, you know, before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
a couple more quick ones here. Did you have fun? Any fun Jim Cornette LVW stories? I'm sure there's plenty.
Well, considering what's going on now, and with that, Cornette thought I was 25 when I had my tryout. He didn't know I was anywhere near 38.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we talked a little bit. So he knew I was worked out, knew I wasn't into drugs or drinking, knew I was a policeman, knew I was an EMT paramedic, knew I was a bodyguard. I was 230 pounds, knew I was a minister, and knew I worked for the power team. So all those Cornette stories like that, he wasn't going to get me involved in any of that. You know, plus, like I said, I'm older. Cornette, I remember we were doing some match in Tennessee. It was a Tennessee SmackDown or something like that. And he got mad at one guy and chased him around with a Louisville Slugger baseball bat, chased him up the fire escape or something like that. But the guy wouldn't come down until I got the bat from Cornette and said, come on, we got a show to do. You know, that's
there was
about
a similar story with Santino Marella. Well, yeah, as far as Santino and Cornette get into it, but yeah, I don't know if that was the same one, but Santino was probably a few.
Isn't he the guy that tried to do my character?
He was Miss WrestleMania. He did do like a female type of character for a second. Yeah.
Vince. The reason why
Cobra.
That's why Vince let me go. He said, because your character's not over anymore. Then why do you keep trying to reinvent it?
Wow.
If that character's not over, why you keep doing it? Now I guess there's a guy named Sonny Kiss in AEW.
Yeah.
I get fans write me this stuff. I don't watch it, but they're telling me about it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yep. All right, last question, real quick. Couple more minutes left. This is a good question. If Rico was the GM for Raw and SmackDown, what would you do?
Golly, Jeffrey, that's two good questions. Oh my God, I'd get all new writers. I would go to the soap operas and buy all those writers and steal their contracts and get them to write for wrestling. Because what's writing now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I mean, are they drinking the grape juice? I don't know. Where's your angles? What makes sense? How do you think that's going to make sense? You got to bring some kind of reality into this. And I'm not talking about people's personal life like he did with Hardy and Lita and that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking you need to get creative people who understand what the fans want. And you need, what are those think tank people called? You get a
focus group.
Focus group. You need to get focus groups out there. Find out what the people wanted.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. My undergrad's in PR, so I agree with that 100%.
I'm gonna go one further for the other guy's question. Was it organically this character? How my makeup character? How'd that work? Okay, I'll tell you what I did. I'd go out and I'd sign autographs for the fans, and I'd hear this every time. Do you know what would be funny? My ears went like that. I got a pen out. Know what? And they would tell me what they thought was funny. I get a couple of ideas because I wrestled 4 times a week, 3 house shows and a television taping. You know what would be funny? No, tell me. What do you? Because I'm listening to them. And then I'd my 2 days off. I'd be in that tanning bed you spent 30 minutes in. You know, I just lay there and I would think of moves. I'd think of the situation. I'd put myself in the situation. And I did all of that on my 2 days off. And then all of a sudden, if it worked, I did it next week on TV. I tried it out in the house shows. And if it worked, guess what? It was going on TV. And if I got Taz or King Lawler to pop at what I did, then I knew it was successful.
Yeah. That's a really good strategy. I think that's
Yeah.
important too, for sure.
That's what I would do. Get focus groups and
Yeah.
get out there and see what kind of storyline that people want. It's kind of like Gladiators. When American Gladiators first came out, the first season, they focused on the gladiators.
Mhm.
Didn't give much attention to the contenders. Then Aton Keller came in and he says, you know what? We're going to focus on the contenders because that's what the people want.
Mhm.
We're going to do the backstory. We're going to find out why they're here. What brought them here? How did they get in shape? Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, after the second season, how fast the gladiators take off.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they
I
had
loved
focus,
it. I
they
loved
got
it.
focus groups and they listened to the people.
Yeah.
Wrestling needs to do the same thing now because whatever they're doing now is not working.
Yeah. Well, you know what works every single time I talk to you, my friend. So it's been a pleasure every time, man. As much as we talk and you know, keep each other abreast of what we're doing, we're on two opposite ends of the country, though. You're in Nevada, I'm in Ohio. But one of these days, man, we'll actually meet and just, you know, have some dinner, man. So I'm looking forward to that day, Lord willing.
But you know, I'm vegan now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you eat your vegan dish, and I'll be totally cool with it, and I'll eat my steak. So
we can go to the sushi place, and there's always the shiitake mushrooms and the tofu and the miso soup. So we'll do that. You can do the steak, the hibachi, and I'll do the tofu.
There you go, man. Sounds good, man. Always a pleasure, Rico, talking to you.
Pleasure.
Man. I appreciate it.
So good to see you, Chris. You look and
indeed.
Congratulations on your doctrine.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Dr. Chris.
Yes, indeed. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Have a good night, my brother.
You too.
Everybody.